Hello, everybody. Welcome to my little Meno-Musings. And this week, we're going to talk about stress reduction in order to reduce your symptoms. And this is part one of two because I didn't want to do a really big, long video. So stress reduction is one of the greatest things you can do. And I believe it's one of the first things to do to get a handle on your menopausal symptoms and generally for overall health. You can be on the best, most nutritious diet that there is. You can do all the exercise, but if you don't manage your stress, you will still have problems. And those problems are going to be issues with sleep, overall mental health, mood swings, issues with relationships, sex drive. If you're really stressed, obviously you're not going to be in the mood. Cortisol, which is stress hormone that contributes to belly that sometimes we get. So all of these things are really, really important for you to manage. And stress reduction is one of those things. So I'm going to go through a few real quick tips. And then in my second part two video, I will give you some more in a how-to. So the first thing that if you're really, really stressed, and maybe I should say, identify what your stressors are. Sometimes it's work and maybe not so much at home. Sometimes it's what's going on at home and work. So the first thing I would recommend is find out what your stresses are if you don't know, and maybe ask for help. So that might be mental health support. It might be talking to your family or your partner, be like, hey, I've got a really busy week coming up. I've got to do this, that, and the other. Could you help out by doing the laundry this week? Could you maybe meal plan this week? Could you have a couple dinners prepared this week? Could you clean up here, there, and the other this week? And see what they say. Sometimes it might surprise you because they may not know the extent of your stress around some of those things. See what happens. Sometimes maybe you need to hire out some stuff. So full disclosure, I have somebody that comes to my house once a month and deep cleans. I do all my own laundry. I wash my bedding. But if I wanted them to do that, they could. So maybe hiring out some things might help reduce the stress. Just ideas. I'm just putting them out there. Reduce your sugar and caffeine intake. I talked a little bit about a sustainable way you can do that last week by reading labels. Also, not eating, a lot of sugary desserts and foods can also help. That contributes to stress and overall anxiety as well as caffeine. So know sometimes when you don't sleep well, we want to grab that caffeine, we want to grab that sugar, but really try to reduce those as much as you can. And if you must have caffeine in the morning, sometimes I do, full disclosure, maybe try not to have that caffeine so much after 3 o'clock. So just kind of watch when you have it so you won't have trouble with sleep later. And then speaking of sleep hygiene is really important. So that's going to be, a cool room. I'm prone to night sweats if I don't have a cool room. So a cool room, dark room. So my husband and I have dark out curtains, so light can't come in early in the morning. I also sleep with an eye mask. Because I can't always, control certain things that are going on in the room. That makes sure that I've got that darkness as needed. What else to do? I change my sheets every single week. This is important, not just because I like clean sheets. It's a turn on to me to fool around and clean sheets like many of us do. And our dogs sleep with us. So in order to make that more hygienic, we clean our sheets every week. So there's that. And routines. Having a set AM and PM routine, which includes a regular wake up time and a regular bedtime. And this is, something you want to do pretty consistently, even on the weekends, even during vacation. Maybe you sleep in for an extra 30, 45 minutes, but not hours. So make sure that you are adjusting things to help with that. Not eating within maybe 2 or 3 hours of your bedtime can also facilitate better and more restful sleep. And when we have that better and more restful sleep, we are not as stressed and we don't need stimulants as much in the morning that can stress us out. So this is part one. I hope that this was helpful for you. Drop me a note in the comment sections. If you would like, you can always contact me for more, and I will see you for part 2.